A very good morning and welcome back to another daily market outlook. Your dollar moved in towards the downside very strongly yesterday here on the 4-hour time frame, but then reversed inside of the New York session. And since the Asia session, we have been ranging. Now, looking at the overall 4-hour time frame, we're now currently trading within this range from this high all the way down in towards this low. So we are inside the premium of that overall 4-hour fractal structure from this high in towards this low. So after breaking this overall fractal low, which we had over here, the new bearish range of fractal structure becomes this high and this low. So there is still further downside possibility for the rest of today on euro dollar. So diving in towards the 15-minute, obviously our entry time frame, we can then see is that we got that eyeballs in towards the downside over here. So we got that strong push downwards. Then what happened yesterday around 7 p.m. so towards, let's say, the end of the New York session, this area of supply got reacted to and we saw kind of some follow through in towards the downside, but because we're trading outside of session, the market just continues to range. Now what has happened this morning is that we've liquidated pretty much the overall range of that Asia session, which we have over here. And we've now straight away kind of seen some reaction. So what I'm waiting for at this point in time is to see, okay, is this bearish reaction genuine? Are we going to break this structural low, then pull back and then continuation? If we do not see that and we see the market just continue up higher from, let's say, this area of demand over here, this area of consolidation, which is now acting as demand, then it is likely that the market will continue up. If we then break out of that 4-hour fractal structure, I'll then look for a pullback to then trade the overall continuation further in towards the upside. So that's that for the 4-hour time frame. If we then do indeed push up higher, my initial target will be this over here, and then the second target will be this refined POI over there. So POI number 1, POI number 2. So that is euro dollar for now. Now moving on in towards the dollar index. The dollar index saw some reaction yesterday back in towards the highs, back in towards this area of supply, which pretty much broke this area of demand. So for today, what I'm looking at is how is the lower time frame now going to react? It does indeed look good after spiking in towards that area of demand or supply, and rejecting it to potentially move back down lower in towards the downside. So looking at the 15-minute, then what we can clearly see over here is that we have pretty much this area of supply. We have also this area of consolidation where stop losses lie above. Obviously, we also had this area of consolidation at first. And then what happened this morning is that we took out pretty much the range high over here, broke in towards the downside, pull back, and then straight away saw a sell-off in towards the downside. But we can see that there's not really any movement yet with real conviction, so maybe we will push up slightly higher in towards that overall range. I mean, looking at this 4-hour on the dollar index, what I can see is that overall this was the low which got broke, like fractal structure wise, this was your low, or is your low over here, or this is your low at the moment, your bullish low, and this is your bullish high. The overall swing structure is also bullish from this low in towards this high. So it does make sense for the dollar to continue up higher. And we are in fact inside this sell before the buy, which is demand. That's why the market is now slowing down. But still, with this area of supply over here, the market could start pushing in towards the downside. And we need to see a 50-minute shift in the overall structure to really be confident that we're ready now to continue up higher. So what I'm doing is I'm watching this high over here. If we break that high, then I'll be more confident that the dollar index is ready to push up higher on the 15-minute time frame. Now going on in towards Aussie dollar over here on the 4-hour. Aussie dollar is making a retracement back in towards the highs. Yesterday, I was mentioning we were looking at this area of demand over here, but as we can see, the market just comes in and doesn't really react, especially if we look at the lower time frame coming in towards that area of demand. We can see we had this area of 15-minute demand in this area, but no bullish intention at all. The market just continues to crash in towards downside. And if the market really wanted to see that upside continuation, we would have seen a structural shift within price, and we didn't get it. So therefore, I always stay out of these kind of setups. So now what's happened is that we've pretty much just pushed down below that 4-hour area of demand, which was also your 4-hour fractal low. So with fractal structure, I'm really referring to the overall structure in individual candles. So this low over here has now been broken, this one, meaning that at the moment, this is your fractal high. So the market, what I'm looking for now on Aussie dollar is to push up slightly higher and then, for example, push further in towards the downside. We could also just already react to this individual kind of like wicks over here, where there's also supply inside, but it's not as strong as this area of supply over here. So keep your eyes out for that. We could also react just simply to this 50-minute area of supply. What I'll be looking at is to see maybe a push up, then a push down, and then downside continuation. Otherwise, just wait for higher supply zones and really wait for that bearish confirmation to kick in. Now going on in towards pound dollar, our next pair, what we can see over here is again also pretty similar to euro dollar. Pretty much now liquidated the range high and then straight away a bearish reaction towards downside back in towards this demand zone. What I'm waiting for is to see, okay, are we going to break structure or are we just going to maintain structure and continue up higher? Going in towards the 4 hour, yesterday I was looking at a potential long, as you guys know, from this area of demand over here, but again, no bullish intentions. If we go back in towards the 15-minute time frame, what you'll see is that once we came in there, we saw one bullish candle. So a lot of people would start buying on that bullish candle, but as we can see, the overall market structure just continues downwards. So do we then randomly start buying on this area of 4 hour demand? No, we do not, especially also not from this 50-minute order block refined inside. That's why a lot of smart money buyers are just buying randomly on this candle over here, stop loss below the low, then they get liquidated, and then the market just goes down deeper for stops and then reverses in towards the highs. So keep that in mind when trading. Always look for that confirmation before you enter a trade. For the rest of the day, very similar to euro dollar at the moment. This over here is your fractal high. That fractal high is being respected. So as long as that fractal high is being respected, we can look for further downside. As soon as that fractal high is broken, we'll look for further upside. There's still liquidity positioned above this high. So I am being very wary with trading the overall let's say 15 minutes at this point in time, therefore waiting for some extra confirmation over here. But as we can clearly see, we get the push up, pull back, push up, and then break in towards downside, pull back, and now you should make it for the downside continuation. But this overall internal structure here is still bullish, right? So you have a high, a higher high, a higher high. So let's see if we break this higher low over here and then look for those shorts in towards the downside. Now going in towards Kiwi dollar, so NZDUSD. NZDUSD has been pushing up higher. It's now reaching this area of supply over here, which is my point of interest. Going in towards the 15, I was looking for a short yesterday. So we had kind of like this corrective price action, which I mentioned this week. As we can see, we see a push in towards the downside after correcting, ascending with ascending nature in towards the highs. So for example, the only setup that I really saw was this one over here yesterday morning. So we had this area of supply over here and we pretty much break structure in towards the downside, push, pull back, and then a push in towards the downside, continuation. Then we pretty much come back in towards this overall area of consolidation, which is your area of demand. And then we tap in there and then we just reverse in towards the highs. So from that point in time, what happened? We had structure in towards the downside, push down again, and then push up. So break of this high over here. So break of the structure, push down, push up, push down, push up, push down, push up, push down, push up. So very clear order flow, overall bullish in towards the highs. So I was not looking to then trade, let's say, the overall continuation play over here of the 4 hour change of character. So from this area of supply, pretty much, I was not looking to just randomly start shorting again because the overall 50-minute was just continuing with higher highs and higher lows back up in towards the upside. So now for today, what I'm looking for is to see how the market will react to this area of 4 hour supply from where we can potentially start looking for a short. So that's that on NZDUSD. Moving in towards our last pair, which is gold. So gold has just been really consolidating this week. Took out the range high over here, kind of took out the low below this area of demand. Was looking for a long, but again, just too much momentum in towards the downside inside of that 4 hour order block. As we can see, again, no bullish confirmation at all. So now just waiting for the market to show its hand. Going in towards the 1 hour real quick. Yeah, also not that much. So yeah, not really looking for that much over here on gold. Just really sitting this one out at the moment and waiting for a direction to be chosen here on the 4 hour time frame. For me, it's just stuck inside of this kind of like box over here. So yeah, there's still liquidity open below this low, by the way, so we could still go for it. We had this high, liquidity taken. Now you have this low where liquidity is still open. This low is trying to take out that low. So let's see how the market reacts. You're currently inside of this 4 hour order block. So it could be that gold is now ready to drop down lower. So thank you very much for tuning in, guys. Wish you all a fantastic day and we will speak soon. Thanks.